Eskom has now revised its wage offer from 0% to 4% for the 2018-2019 financial year. Let's cross live to our reporter Mbongeni Mutwa for a quick update. Mbongeni, good news, I suppose, for some. That offer had been sitting at 0%. Do give us the reaction from the unions.
Well, no reaction as yet. The session is still ongoing. They haven't broken for tea or anything since the offer was tabled. We managed to get wind of it, since we've been camping out of here as soon as it was presented inside. But you are right, indeed, it is a big departure from the status quo that was prevailing all along, the 0% offer that was on the table. 4.7% for the current year, inflation for the next, for the following 3 years. Eskom wants a 4-year agreement. The feeling that we managed to get from one of the union people who was inside, the immediate reaction was the 4-year period that Eskom wants is just out of the question. He said there's no way that unions are going to agree to that. Of course, now that the offer has been put on the table, Eskom basically has thrown the ball into the unions' court now. So it's now the unions who must react to this. So the hard bargaining begins now. So now it's down to business. Of course, unions are going to push as much as they can to get as much out of the employer as possible. Their mandate at the moment stands at double digit. That's from the members, the workers, minimum, of course, being 10%. And as the process unfolds, the workers are kings now, because the unions are going to have to, whatever they do, every move they make, they have to be in step with the members, with the workers, make sure that they're on board, that they carry their mandate. It is worth remembering what happened last time when an offer was made, negotiations happened, the leadership of the NUM, which is the biggest union there, themselves, they had basically reached a point where they felt that what was on the table was it was. In fact, if I remember well, they actually recommended to members to accept it, but the members rejected it. They insisted on double digit, and they got what they wanted, which was 10%. So it's going to be interesting to see how this process plays out from here on. But yes, it's a big movement forward. Also, on Eskom's side, in their favor right now, is that the workers are back at work. So the upheaval of the past week is no longer there. It's no longer on the table. So they are now in a position to negotiate with the workers, with the unions, without the pressure of last week, which is well known by now, as far as Eskom reported it, the intimidation, people being stopped from going to work, and the sabotage, and so on and so on and so on. So it is quite a big step forward, one could say.
Do talk to us about this. I mean, this 4%, is it across board? And do maybe just go into detail about how it will be implemented? Because I was just reading a report saying that Solidarity was saying this morning that they are willing to agree to come to a certain agreement that is going to be fruitful for both the workers and the employer, because we also know the issues around load shedding.
Yes, it's the same scenario basically that we've seen play out in different sectors of the economy, where you have, like in mining, manufacturing, and so on and so on, where you have the fault lines in terms of pay and income coming to the fore on the shop floor, where you have your black worker union. Unions, organizations that there was black workers, and then you've got Solidarity on the other side, who represent mainly your white working class worker. The apartheid wage gap plays a role there. So, because they don't earn the same necessarily. Also, their skill set is not the same.
Yes.
Your average white worker, for instance, at Eskom, is an engineer, and so on and so on and so on. And then, on the side. So all those dynamics are always there in wage negotiations, as we have seen. They are present here at Eskom as well. Like, for instance, if you talk about a percentage increase, if you're talking about 4.7% across the board, the traditional Solidarity member, for them, 4.7% increase, it means something different to a black worker who earns lower bracket, maybe low skilled, and so on and so on and so on. So all those dynamics are always there, and of course they are present here, and we're going to see them play out as usual. And now the negotiations are there, the offer is there. Eventually,
room to negotiate.
Get to the end of this, and then people will say where they stand, and then again, the worker is king. The workers are king. At the end of the day, they have the final say whether they accept what the negotiators are bringing to them, or they don't.
All right, so Mzwandile, at this stage, you can confirm that the workers are going to go back to production. And of course, do give us an indication of when we can get that reaction from the unions.
Well, the workers at Eskom have been back at work since the meeting of Friday with the minister, Friday evening. So they started going back to work since the weekend already. In terms of the initial reaction by the unions to this, they have promised to hold a media briefing, as soon as today's session is finished, where they will give their initial reaction and also tell us the path forward, how they see the way forward in terms of the negotiations from here. So we're expecting that any moment from now, and hopefully, you can take it live, and people can see what the unions have to say.
Absolutely. Mbongeni Mutho, thank you so much for that sound update. That is our senior econ reporter there, Mbongeni Mutho, joining us live from there, where we've just heard that Eskom has since revised their 0% wage offer to now 4%. We are yet to hear from the unions as to what they feel about this offer, and that, of course, will be happening anytime from now on, as soon as the unions get wind of that. Let's take